Welcome back, guys, to A1 Wired, which are Delay Muhammad, your host, and Rashid as your co-host. So go on, but talk about the Mavs, man. What's going on with the Mavs so far, Abdulkadir? Give me your thoughts. With their lack of
Um,
movement and everything like that, what's going on with them?
nah, I wouldn't say lack of movement. They got JJ Redick and they kept most of their core, and their core got knocked off in the second round
I
in the
think
what
the
seven
first round they got knocked out by the Clippers.
in 7 games again or less.
I don't know, probably like six or not that many
I think
games. It was just Luka showed the whole time, honestly. As the
yeah.
current Luka did pretty good. He averaged like 27 points and 8 rebounds, 8 assists last season as well. As you
hmm
can see in the graphic shown in above. Um, the roster is not really bad, honestly. It feels like like during the playoffs, if you really paid attention to it, there was a lot of controversy between him and Porzingis,
Yeah.
and you had to see how they haven't really done anything to the roster besides add JJ from the trade from the previous season. Maxi
No,
Cleaves is pretty good.
there's- yeah.
Brunson is pretty good as well. It really depends on how they want to move on. It feels like they haven't done any moves in the offseason. They might do a lot of trades close to the deadline because honestly, and they also got rid of their coach and then replaced him with Jason Kidd.
Yeah.
I don't know about how do you view the Jason Kidd acquisition for the team?
Before that Giannis book dropped, it was a great signing, but I don't know anymore.
I
You
don't know.
know the
I honestly, I don't know. It feels like even before the book, he was really, I don't know. He got really a lot of like high profile gigs. Honestly, the
yeah.
Bucks was not really high profile, but the Nets when he first came, it feels like a lot of like when Steve Nash. But at the same time, he doesn't have the vibe that Steve Nash gives off. He's a very rugged type of coach, and he was like that in his playing years as well. He had like a lot
Yeah.
of domestic abuse allegations and a lot of like crazy stuff. His son doesn't claim him anymore. Stuff like that's pretty crazy. I don't know how he got
Yeah.
another job, and just because I think he was assistant coach for the Lakers. That's the reason why he got an opportunity like this. And plus,
Yeah.
he's a Hall of Fame point guard. Honestly, besides those two, it feels like
No, let's be honest, right? Get away from controversial stuff, right? He's a great basketball mind, right? And even like a great player like Giannis credits him, right? Like, yo, the reason I'm so good is thanks to Jason Kidd. So he does have
are you sure he made Larry Nance retire? Not Larry Nance. I
Larry,
mean like Larry Sanders. Like my bad, Larry
yeah,
Sanders.
just like
He
everything, bro.
made him
Like
cry.
your approach to doing stuff might not go well with everybody, right? But look at
The
Luca, right? He
green bubble,
reminds it.
man. The green bubble in the group chat. This is a guy who's the head coach of a team. I don't believe this. Honestly, I just have to see how the season goes. Honestly, Luca is a one in a lifetime talent. He's
Yeah,
never gonna come. He's no player dominated. Even the past two draft, like even the past draft, there was Giddy and
yeah,
Lamelo were the two
yeah,
prospects that came from
yeah,
overseas that have a lot of claim, right? And RG Hampton as well. Besides those
yeah.
players, none of them even dominated their league. And also the Turkish prospect that the Houston Rockets got, he
hmm
dominated his team, and
yeah,
but at the same time, nobody dominated the league on MVP and run
yeah.
on the stretch like that. I don't know. It feels like this is like same situation like Zion Williams type of situation at the current moment with his team.
And I think I would compare him to LeBron James because this
Not
guy is
LeBron. It
impacted.
feels
He impacted winning though, right?
yeah.
Before he's a third overall pick, right? In 2 seasons, I think last year's second round playoffs, game 7. This year, again, versus a contender. It's not like he's losing to bums. He's losing to the Clippers in 7 games, two seasons in a row, averaging back to back like 40 point games. So this guy has proven by the eye test and also just like willing his team to win that this guy is special. So once you look at that, and then I'm like, it's really hard to mess up, right? There are certain players where you can't F up, right? Like it was clear to see that the Oklahoma City Thunder, they would have to be very like um negligent to mess up Kevin Durant. And they had a lot of success. They might not won a championship, but they
At
built
the
a
same
contender
time,
team, right?
they built up. It's like a mountain.
Yeah.
Then once you got to the tippy top, he fell off. That's what happened
Yeah.
to the OKC. They went to the finals.
Yeah.
They didn't win anything. They had
Yeah.
three Hall of Famers. three All-Stars,
Yeah.
three continuous All-Stars, I mean,
Yeah.
and three MVPs. That's
Yeah.
never going to happen again, possibly,
Yeah.
in a single team.
But here's the thing, though.
That's
Take those
not
guys
on.
out. Take those guys out. KD probably still goes to the finals. I'm be honest.
Yeah.
KD with the not and then again, let's not go there, right? All those guys became MVPs after Kevin Durant left, right? So the fact that they were all MVP level players at the same time is also false, right?
Nah, they
James
were.
Harden was not established yet. Uh, Russell Westbrook was still pretty raw. I'm be honest, like there was a hierarchy, right? Like, what would you compare those players to now, right? James Harden was a sixth man of the year, and people held him to that standard. Nobody was saying, "Oh, this guy is special. This guy should be on his own team." People were like, "Yo, criticize him. Why would the Rockets trade for him? He's not that guy." That's what people were saying. But we forget that, right? We hold people, players to the standard they are right now forever, even though they weren't that way, right? The only exception is LeBron James has always been that guy. Kevin Durant's always been that guy. Who else? Most other players, you can't say that about them. It's looking like Luka's continuously been that guy since season 1 to, I guess, season 4 now. So we'll see. But in terms of saying that, oh, 3 Hall of Famers, 3 MVPs, that's not who they were. They were not
Yeah,
those
but they're
guys
great
yet.
talents either way. They
Great
still,
talents, yes.
if they kept in the end of the day, keep in mind, I understand this is a new league of player movement and player empowerment. So there's a lot of movement going on in the rosters and players dominate where they want to go. But the Kevin Durant situation was somewhat their fault for deciding to pick. They could have kept James Harden and Ibaka, but they decided to pick Ibaka. And the Dallas Mavericks, the way they structure their team, I know that's a separate topic with the OKC's franchise and everything, but in this case, they have acquired a good player with Porzingis when they got from the Knicks. People originally thought that they won the trade because every trade, whoever gets a better player wins no matter what.
Yeah.
That's end of the day. You can't foresee injuries, but if you got the better player, you won, right?
Yeah.
So,
But that goes to hindsight being 2020, right? So
no,
like
I'm just saying, like, if you
everything when you're looking back at something, it's easy to say, oh, so remember when they got Porzingis, right? He's coming off of an injury, right? They're like, yo, if he's just a fraction of the player he was, the Mavericks won this trade, right? But then nobody anticipated that they just would not fit, right? Because Porzingis, to be fair to him, has not played horribly. It's just these two players don't really fit each other that well. Even though we thought, okay, both European players, Porzingis does a lot of things, or that pick and roll is going to be hard to guard, but it just didn't work for whatever reason. Chemistry, whatever it might be,
I have
it
a
just
question.
didn't work. What's
My
up?
question is, how do you view them just simply just running it back with the same roster with a different tweaks and stuff like that, but still having the same players? Like they didn't went out and acquire anybody. They just re-signed Tim Hardaway and it's
JJ Redick.
probably JJ Redick as well. They got from their previous season. Besides that, how do you feel them just pretty much running it back with the same exact team?
I don't see a problem with it, especially when you have a young player. Let them establish, right? Let them struggle. Let them work through these playoffs battles, right? See if he's gonna get better, right? That's what teams really struggle with doing, is letting that leash go, right? They gave Mark Cuban gave the franchise to Luka, and that's why he's having such success, right? Giving him the opportunity to make mistakes, to learn, right? You're the guy. There's no question about it. Take the reins, right? And then if you took this team to the playoffs, right? You met top 3 team early in the playoffs. That's unfortunate. If they didn't, right? If they beat the Clippers, they would have had a chance against the Suns. I'll be honest. That Suns team was not that good.
Yeah, honestly, the Suns team is different from this current team. They have a star player in Devin Booker, but they also got a bunch of role playing. And honestly, people really were mocking the Phoenix Suns for drafting Johnson and other players like that. And they also made Cameron Payne came through. But this situation is kind of different because they don't have. If Luka was in Phoenix with Chris Paul,
Yeah.
they would have won that. Probably 100% would have won the ring, like an
Yeah.
80% chance. Because
Yeah.
that team, Luka is a really, really, really good player. He's already an MVP candidate every single year. He's gonna play if he plays healthy. I can't say that for Devin Booker. I can't say it for any other players. I can't say it for Zion. I can't say that for Jason Tatum. They're players that people really compare them to in that sense because they're both in a new generation of young players.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Honestly, it feels like, and
He's
also,
light year ahead of those guys.
yeah, not
It's
light
fair
years
to
ahead,
say.
but it's like he's already at the point where he can be
Because
challenging for the
because
accolades.
here's the difference, right? This is where a lot of young players struggle, right? It's one thing to put up numbers, right? It's
Yeah,
another thing to put up numbers that impact winning, right? And Luka has done that, right? He's putting
yeah.
up numbers that are comparable with these guys,
You said
right?
Zion haven't done that yet.
Zion, I mean, to the playoff success is what you got to look at, right? Out
Yeah,
of
but
all those guys, you're comparing them to who has the playoff success that he has with less
Jason
talent,
Tatum
right?
for sure. Jason Tatum really
Jason
took
Tatum
it.
has more talent around him. If anything, he's underachieved with the talent he had, right? Because
You said before, but the current roster, I feel like
not the current roster, but I'm talking about right from his second season to his fourth or fifth season right
I
now.
think it's fifth or sixth, almost that.
Yeah. So in terms of, you had that window in which people were saying, "Yep, he's that guy. Has that team favorite out the East. Favorite out the East." Boston, the Celtics might have fumbled all those draft picks. Remember, like we were looking at them like, wow, they're about to run the league for another century.
Yeah,
This,
because
that,
they
the
didn't
other.
capitalize on it. It's
Yeah,
not they did turn those draft picks into their best two players right now. You can't say
yeah.
they fumbled the bag. Keep that in mind. They capitalized on it. Then when they had more opportunities, they traded for
They got
Kyrie.
unlucky. I'd say they got
Nah, they
unlucky.
pulled the trigger on Kyrie. I feel like Kyrie was a bad pickup. But besides that, Luka right now at the current moment, they traded for him and
Now
for
look at it this
Cam
way, right?
Reddish and Trey Young, right? And
Yeah,
look at how the Hawks went to the semifinals against the
yeah,
Bucks.
yeah. In
When
a
you look
weaker
at that,
East,
it's not about the East or not.
that has
That
to
plays
play
a
a
role, but at the
factor.
same time, you see how the he's like the Hawks built their team around Trey Young and how he
Yeah,
plays.
yeah,
Luka, in some ways, they really haven't done that. They just
yeah,
got him. Like Luka is more like a LeBron James s type of player, where he's a ball dominant, he creates for
yeah,
others. He's really
yeah,
a point forward.
yeah,
So besides the athleticism, he's a really good create shots for himself. Playmaking is not 100% there yet, but he's a really good facilitator.
yeah,
And they got what? Jason Richardson. That's about it.
yeah.
And he didn't work out very well. They got Porzingis. It didn't work out so
You
far.
got Trey Burke.
Trey
He played
Burke,
well.
he did okay. Besides that, this team is really not like if I had seen on like we see how
But
they
here's
are
the
in the
thing though.
playoffs.
Here's
The
the thing
past
though.
two
Here's the thing
years,
though.
they
Right?
haven't done
I
anything.
hear you. What do you mean? They went to 2 game 7s against a top 3 team in the
Yeah,
league.
but they didn't win it. You can go to all the game sevens you
Okay,
want.
so
If you
here,
don't win it, it don't
hear
matter.
me out, hear me out, right? So you're saying a player with, like you're saying, he doesn't have enough, right? A team that's catered towards him, a team that's built around him, right? You telling me he's doing that much success with a team that's not as good as, I guess, the other people in the league? Imagine when he gets that team,
That's
and
what I'm saying. That
they're
I'm
acting
talking
like
about the
it's hard to get that.
organization, not
The
him.
organization. Here's the
I
thing,
feel like the
though.
organization
The
is
team
lacking
around him
behind
is a
him.
good team. It's a good team. It's a
And
good
they got
team.
unproven coaches here too. It feels like they're even worse from last year because now you have these like Mark Cuban made a statement talking about how their relationship is similar to Dirk and Jason Terry when they
Yeah,
play together. I don't at the same time keep in mind the NBA has changed so much. It's so rare for you to have a superstar like Dirk and waste
yeah,
that many years of his career and his
yeah,
prime. And just for him to figure it out and click. The
yeah,
NBA is a really fast paced NBA now. Everybody like right now, you see one team, they're in the bottom of the playoffs
yeah.
and they go all the way up and they
And then they
acquire
fall
teams
off.
and they
Yep.
fall off. A new team
Yeah,
come in. The Phoenix Suns show you right now, LeBron, like these big names have a lot of
yeah,
impact in the NBA. They have
yeah,
so much more power. They decide who they want to coach with. Like look at
yeah,
Damian Lillard. He really said, "Oh, I really like Chauncey Billups," and he got it. Just like that. Before you think that really happened, remember Hakeem? How he wanted to get traded and they just held him down. They didn't care.
yeah,
It's just like nowadays the NBA has really changed. And with that statement he said about how their relationship is going to improve over time, you
yeah,
don't get that a lot of chance nowadays. You can go to the All-Star game, especially now with the tampering. You've seen how the tampering is going around lately?
yeah.
It's just
You
players
telling me,
tapping.
but then again, he has the same thing going against him that Giannis does. He's not
He's
American,
not
right?
Giannis. The thing about Giannis,
No, I'm not
Giannis
comparing him
came
to
from that. No,
Giannis.
the Giannis,
I'm not comparing him to
his
Giannis.
loyalty.
I'm
You talk
comp-
about
I'm talking about mentality and the way other NBA players view these guys, right? Giannis is even worse because it looks like most of the players give him no credit. They're just like, yo, that guy he's over there. He's African.
yeah, because
He's
it's not
European.
about
Same thing.
African. It's his
Same thing.
personality.
Yeah, it's personality. You wouldn't say Luka is similar to that. He has that
He has
mentality
this
of I want to
stigma.
win.
He has this stigma because he's a European player. There's always this
Yeah,
stigma against these European players, but
yeah,
at the same time, you got to keep in mind he is a 2K cover.
yeah.
He does get credit where he deserves, and
But in this league, you have to be an ambassador too. You can't just be a good player now. You got to be an ambassador that could bring other people to you, especially when people are playing with, yo, I'm gonna stack my deck, you stack your deck. You can't just be
yeah,
that guy. Like Giannis said, I'm okay if I never win a ring. Realistically, he might not ever win another ring the way he plays, right? Because he doesn't
he
attract
got it.
those stars. He got it and he's good. But Luka, if he's that similar player, right? If he's not telling other guys, yo, come on me, we can run, we can win. And nobody
Yeah,
goes over there and they just let him rot. And like you said, all that talent goes to waste. That's when the organization got to come in, right? Do a trade, right? You're looking at lowering marketing, right? Yo, pull the trigger on that. Why are you still waiting?
yeah,
Go
but
get that
Lori,
man.
at the same time, what's the point of you getting two centers? Like, pretty much, Loki Market's the power forward, but he can
Yeah.
play center. You got two power forwards
Now they
who
got to decide what they're doing with
I have to
Porzingis.
get rid
I
of
feel like
Porzingis,
I
and it's
feel like
really hard to get rid of him.
the first half of the season will, like you said, dictate what a lot of teams do, but especially them, right?
Yeah,
If
because they're really a question mark. Honestly, I don't
there's
have
a
no
question
idea
mark,
what to
right?
do.
There's like injuries, chemistry, the coaching. So now, normally 3 years is where people are like, "Yep, it's either we know or we don't." So 3 years of playing together, they either work or they don't. And after, based on that, you got to make a decision. And I feel like when they make that decision and they go all in on Luka and they build around him, cater towards him, he's gonna have more success. But then again, you also got to look around you. It doesn't matter how good you are
Mhm.
if the rest of the league is super teamed and stacked, right? Like you could do everything you can, but you're gonna keep running into the Clippers, right? Even the Clippers aren't that good relative to the other super teams, but they still have enough star power to beat you, even though I'd say arguably they played better in both series last year and the year
Yeah,
before.
but they were having a lot of controversy between their two best players, and it feels like with the league how it's set up now, they're gonna get rid of him. Honestly, I want to talk about Ben Simmons in the later video, a situation like that.
Okay.
But honestly, my final thoughts for this team is projected them probably to finish in the playoffs for sure, probably around the like fourth to like seventh
Yeah.
seed,
No,
and not
I said they're
and
easily
avoid
a top
yeah
four team. They're a
a
top
top
four
four
team.
team. But you gotta give teams like wiggle room. I feel like they're not 100% gonna. They're not the type of
I
team
don't see
that
them.
fights for the
I don't
first
see
seed.
them.
They don't fight
Yeah.
for the first seed like the Utah Jazz or like the Lakers, team like that. Who the Lakers don't fight for first seed hitting the Clippers, but Utah Jazz
Yeah.
and Denver Nuggets fight for the first second seed.
Yeah.
So besides
That's a
those
team I
two
like.
teams, yeah, them two teams are always going to be in the conversation for like the first second seed because they did it the past 2 years. And
Yeah.
honestly, the Houston Mavericks have not improved. They don't have the same amount of talent other teams. When it comes to the young core, they got a bunch of NBA proven role players that honestly they in a box and they really don't get out of it.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like this team. This team is very fixed on the players. Know is they had to have the only way that I can see them really improve is to have their younger players. They don't have a lot of young players, honestly. If they get Laurie marketing, they had to figure out situation between him and Porzingis now. Then you have all these question marks. They have a new coach. The owner is very like traditional when it
But
comes to his views.
luckily for them, they have time.
They have Luca. At the same time,
They have Luca
Max
and
is
they
coming
have
this
time.
year.
They
He's
have Luca and
extended.
they have time.
Yeah, I
You
don't
think
know.
he's not extending? What
He
is
already
it? He's
extended. He
still
already extended
he's taking extended.
five more
He was on
years.
his
At the same time,
rookie contract. He's young.
I
He's
think
three
this is.
years.
I think is right
You-
now. It kicked in. Okay, I
just
think.
just because his level of play has exceeded to most players eighth year in the league
Yeah, it did
doesn't
for
mean he's
sure.
there yet. He's at that level where he's playing at prime level, right? Where people are like, you gotta win now. You got 5 more years. No, he doesn't. He has at least another 10 years in the league, right? So for us to be fixating on they gotta do something drastic. No, they don't. You gotta see the NBA waters, fizzle out, let everything calm down, and then make your smart decision. You don't gotta panic, right? When you panic, you do things you might regret, and then they'll look back and you'll have a what if of yo,
It's
if
better
they
to
did
try and never to try. And
that.
honestly, your view is different from
Here's,
mine. I feel like this
okay.
team does not have enough assets to
And
really
that's
acquire
okay.
a superstar
Here's the
unless
thing:
they
is a
get.
young player. A young player is not expected to win, right?
Yeah,
Luka might want to win, right? And he's doing everything he can to win, right? They're adding pieces, but what you got to understand is when you have a young squad, it's hard to get those players, right? That put you over the edge, right? You have to draft, you have to trade. You're not nobody's coming there for unproven, even though he's proven, but still like, oh, he's young. Let's see if he can continue it. The questions are still there, even though people are like, okay, he's that guy. Could he do it again? Could he do it again? Until he's done it to the point where, okay, he is who he says he is. Okay, over 3-4 years, they built around him. And then now is when you look at him and be like, okay, what can you do? But yo, it's his third or fourth year in the league. You gotta relax, bro. You gotta
I have some
relax.
concerns with this roster. It feels like they haven't
That's
improved.
okay. And this team is not gonna stay the same.
I feel like
Most of
chemistry is
these,
important. If you're not gonna have a good team, have really good chemistry, and this team at the moment, I don't think it has the best chemistry from when the rumors I heard from their two best players. I don't know. You have to wait and see. But you have any final thoughts?
simple, bro. Porzingis is not. It's not that hard. Luka. That's it. Just Luka, bro. If there's a chemistry issue and the opposite is Luka and somebody else, get rid of the somebody else, bro. It's Luka, bro. Like, don't be stupid. It's
Yeah,
very simple. I like Porzingis. Goodbye, Porzingis. Simple.
yeah. But guys, you have any different thoughts from what we have? Please comment in the bottom as well. Just see what exactly would you agree with either me or him, and please comment and subscribe as well. I always love that. Also leave a like as well if you really enjoyed it and give us some thoughts. And appreciate it. See you next video as well.